Hello. Welcome once again to History Raw, another Friday edition of something to do with the great state of Oklahoma. And tonight is historical Oklahoma. If you saw the map that was up when the video started, you can see that tonight, historic all black towns of Oklahoma. And this map shows the locations of the black towns that were founded in Oklahoma between 1865 and 1920. Over 50 of them. I don't think all 50 of them are represented here. But anyway, that's what we're looking at tonight. And so let's go now on location to one of those towns and chat there. See you there. Episode, and I wanted to begin by reading to you and kind of introducing you to our topic for today. This is an advertisement that was in a Muskogee newspaper, November 15th, 1907. To our colored friends throughout the United States, we send you greeting. The Indian Territory and Oklahoma are now a new state. Thousands of our native people are landholders and have thousands of acres of rich lands to rent and lease. We prefer to rent and to lease our lands to colored people. Our terms will be found reasonable. You are invited to come and share and enjoy our lands and our prosperity in the new state of Oklahoma. And again, that was a Muskogee newspaper, November 15th, 1907, the day before Oklahoma achieved statehood. Did you know that African Americans created or founded more all black towns than any other state, with over 50 of them? All between, not just with the beginning of statehood, but since 1865 through 1920, over 50 all black communities. This information is found in a free publication that you can get from our Oklahoma Tourism Department. The website is travelok.com, and this is their little book, Long Road to Liberty, Oklahoma's African American History and Culture, and it's got a whole chapter on our all black towns. I am coming to you from one of the remaining black towns. It's no longer incorporated. It is an unincorporated community, and it is called Louisville, Oklahoma. Let me show you the sign. You can see there, founded in 1869, 38 years before Oklahoma was officially a state. And then they became an official township, as you can see, in 1909. But founded 4 years after the end of the Civil War. This is a little community about 1.5 miles southwest of Kinta in Haskell County. And besides a few homes, the only non-resident structure is the Baptist church here. Let me do some zooming in. Harris Chapel Baptist Church, established in 18 89. When I was pastoring at Quinton, which is about 5 miles down the road, I had the privilege of preaching there. Got a lot of amens. But anyway, let's finish this episode up at the home base in Fanshawe, Oklahoma, and learn the history of the all-black communities in Oklahoma. All right, we'll see you there in a moment. Bye-bye. All right, we're back. Why do you suppose that Louisville was founded in 1869? When I read from the Long Road to Liberty booklet, and I read that article from the Muskogee newspaper, that was when Oklahoma was established, or when Oklahoma officially became a state, incorporating this whole area. Before 1907, the state was split in half, somewhere along these lines. And this half, kind of diagonally, the western half was Oklahoma Territory, and then the eastern half on a diagonal split was Indian Territory. So in 1907, it all became one state, Oklahoma. Why do we see Louisville founded in 1869? Did free African Americans, right after the Civil War officially ended in 1865, did they come and found Louisville and other towns that quickly? And if so, why put an ad in the paper in 1907 to free African Americans? Well, we shouldn't have to qualify that they're free. We know they're free since the end of the Civil War. Why put an ad encouraging African Americans to come to Oklahoma? Well, when the Civil War was going on, Oklahoma was not just populated by white Europeans and Native Americans. There were African Americans already in Oklahoma. They were the slaves, not to the whites, but they were slaves to Native Americans. Native Americans that came on the Trail of Tears in the 1830s. Some of them had African American slaves. And so when the Civil War ended in 1865 and freed all the slaves, those African Americans already living in Oklahoma as the slave property to Native Americans, and I'm sure there were some whites that had slaves. I would have to go back and refresh myself on that, because, you know, there was the issue of admitting states to the Union before the Civil War. States to the north, kind of that line across the top of Oklahoma there, states to the north would be admitted as free states, and states to the south as slave states. And so, but anyway, the African Americans that had come with their Native American masters were then freed. And so that's why we see we see African American towns and communities being started so near the end of the Civil War. Now, I'm sure other African Americans came after the end of the Civil War from the other states that they were freed from. But then again, with statehood, we invited African Americans to come and settle our newly founded state. So I'm going to link in the comments a couple of articles. First of all, I'm going to link the article that is found on the Oklahoma Historical Society's website on the historic all Black towns in Oklahoma. And then when you read that article, you'll see them mention that Booker T. Washington had visited probably the most famous all Black town in Oklahoma, which is Boley, 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 Oklahoma. And after visiting, he wrote an article in 1908, which appeared in a magazine called the Outlook magazine. I'll put a link to that article that you can read. Our Oklahoma Historical Society also produces a podcast called, very appropriately, A Very Okie Podcast. And they have one podcast episode on the all Black towns in Oklahoma. So I'm going to link that as well. And I'll also put a link to, once again, I'll put a link to travelok.com, which was our state tourism's website, but I'll make the link directly to the PDF version of this booklet. So if you want to start reading this booklet immediately, you can have it on your computer as a PDF form. Now, if you want your own print copy, you'll have to go to Travelok and request it. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode about the historic all Black towns in Oklahoma. I hope you learned something, and I hope you continue to learn over the weekend through the resources that I have put in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. And if you have any experience with the all Black communities in Oklahoma. And I would welcome any suggestions that you might have concerning historic Oklahoma, surprising Oklahoma, eerie Oklahoma, little known facts about Oklahoma, whatever you would maybe like to see an episode about. So have a great evening and a great weekend. And if the creek don't rise, I don't have my creek poster. I got another poster. So if the really windy weather doesn't push over the trees in front of the path next Friday, then we'll do it again. Okay, bye-bye.